back to another live. I'm here with my very esteemed guest, one of my favorite humans on the planet, Mr. Javier Vidana.
Hello.
So, hello. Thanks for gracing my channel with your awesome presence.
No problem. Just getting your first view of me. Trying to get the best angle. Okay, ready.
So I always want to kick this off with, first of all, finding out where you guys are tuning in from in the country, and then also where you're at in the loan process so we know how to gauge the content that we're putting out for you. It's super helpful for me to provide you with the most value. And I do want to start off, guys, with an update on what's going on with interest rates, because we had a really, really impactful meeting today from the Fed, and we got to hear their first statements on, if inflation is still a big deal, what they see the status of the economy, the strength, the health. And then I also want to give you like a national perspective on what's going on with mortgage applications, where I see the future of rates. So plug in your questions in the chat box and we'll get to answering them. But I'm going to go ahead and get started with what the hell happened today. So, I have been talking for weeks now that interest rates are being heavily impacted on the sentiment of inflation. So for those of you who are new to the channel or maybe aren't familiar with the term, inflation is just the percentage at which costs and goods of services increase for the country. So we always want to see that, prices are going up because it means that companies are growing and that it's a healthy economy, right? A healthy economy is one that grows. Typically, they've established anywhere between 2 and 4% as being the metric. 2 is healthy, 4 is on the high side. And while we're in this temporary state of increased growth because we have had a ton of bottlenecks in supply chains, in being able to deliver, goods because people are out of work because of COVID. And so there's this big debate on whether or not the cost of goods that are increasing now at close to 6%, is this healthy? Is this becoming unsustainable? Are we going to price ourselves out of affording anything, right? So this is the big ticket item. And so today it was a roll your dice kind of gamble. We had no idea what the Fed was going to come out and say as it related to, is inflation a big deal? In the past, the last meeting, they said that they weren't going to change any of their asset purchases, unless they saw something that was substantial and meaningful. Persistent and meaningful, meaning that it kept increasing and that we saw meaningful increases, right? So to the cost of, or to people's affordability. So today we actually got the definition of a word that I have seriously, I've Googled it. I wasn't 100% sure what transitory meant. But today, Fed Chairman Powell gave us the definition of transitory. And basically what transitory means is that it's a rise of prices, but not necessarily inflation, right? So it's so rise in prices that might not go down, but isn't going to increase for years to come, right? So inflation is the percentage at which things continuously grow. An increase in price is an increase in price. It's temporary. It might go up, it may not come down, but it isn't going to continue to increase at that same pace. So I think that was a super helpful definition. And let me tell you, investors loved this because we saw some improvement in rates.
Turn up the volume.
So we saw some improvement in rates. So if you had not locked in your loan, tomorrow is a really great day to call your loan officer. It's going to be a little bit bumpy as, all the different Fed chairs start talking about what this actually means and their own interpretations. But it does not look like they're going to stop their asset purchases for mortgage-backed securities anytime soon. And that's really what's keeping rates down. Our Fed is our biggest investor, our biggest client, and they are buying mortgage-backed securities, which bring rates down. So if you hear on the news that we are tapering assets, right, meaning that they're going to start buying less and less assets over time, that is bad for interest rates.
You gotta have your mic next to you when you talk.
Dude, I don't know.
She's
I'm a noob, and Javier's here, and now he's making me really nervous. So I'm definitely
she's talking to her mic hey guys, so this is what's going on. There you go.
Okay, there we go. Hopefully it's fixed.
Talking in your mic. There you go. Is it front here? Front facing.
Okay.
Sorry.
So just to repeat, if they mention in the news that the Fed is tapering asset purchases, that is not good for interest rates, right? News like that means that interest rates are going to go up. The other thing is if you hear that it is transitory or temporary, or we get good news about it not being as significant, right, that means interest rates will go down. So this was really great news day for interest rates. It means that affordability is going to stay low, at least for the next like 30 days or so until we get another Fed, announcement. So anyway, this was really great news today. I thought I would mention it because I talked about last week how interest rates could be impacted. All right.
Awesome.
So do you have questions on inflation? Because I know that you ask or make a lot of videos on this and interest rates.
I don't make videos about inflation.
No, you make interest rates on market.
No, you haven't watched my videos lately.
Okay. So what have your videos been about lately?
About these corporate cash buyers, man.
You know what's funny about that? So one of the big news items this week is actually about how mortgage applications have dipped 18%. And so everyone's been really freaking out about that. So that came out. And then also new home sales dropping by 6% was really big news. If you look at Google, you'll read things like housing boom is over, real estate's about to crash. I mean, it was like I read 22 different articles on this. And when you dig into the data, turns out that cash buyers, I think, made up 18% of all purchasers last year. And this year we're up 23% in cash buyers, which is a lot made up by these hedge funds. Okay, so you have to realize that there's going to be less mortgage applications. One, because interest rates have come up. Two, because it's a very aggressive market. And three, because there's a lot more cash buyers. And when you take out cash buyers from the equation, it actually looks like mortgage applications are only down 9% off the year. And 2020 was like a record year for just in general applications because you had the rush of people who had 4% trying to get a 2%. So it wasn't sustainable anyway. So it's really interesting to see that the market isn't easing up like people are talking about. And the other thing about new construction sales is also that they can't keep up with the current contracts that they have. So they have to stop sales, right, just to keep up and build inventory to meet their current contracts. So I think the news this week is completely bogus when it comes to that, but I'd love to get your guys' perspective.
For sure. Darren Buttery says there's a 100-year mortgage now. Is this true? It says here that you typed there are now 100-year mortgages. You heard it here first. What's your comment on that?
So no 100-year mortgages.
How come you typed it then? It says here, Lizzie Hofer, yes, there are now 100-year mortgages. You heard it here first.
Did you type this? Oh my God, you're such a butthead. Oh my God.
I'm just kidding. There's nothing.
No,
like
but seriously, they are talking about 40 to 50-year mortgages, which I feel like is along those sentiments.
Yeah, no, I think just the decrease of mortgage applications or people actually realizing or being so not motivated to enter that they just don't even bother calling you guys. They used to call you first and then get disappointed after, but now people are like, we're going to wait. So now what's going to happen is they're seeing these news articles, and now so next month is probably going to be, or this month is probably going to be crazy for you guys because the news articles are saying that it's going crazy, that it's dropping, so people are going to start going for it.
So it's really hard to gauge. Consumer sentiment's at an all-time low when it comes to home buying right now, which is weird. I think the dip in rates will help. And also, I think that hopefully the news that it is a less aggressive market will help, but who knows?
Yeah. I'm noticing a lot of especially Zillow, they're starting to do a lot of price reductions on their properties, on the Zillow homes. So that's interesting. Someone says, have you seen Bond King's video about 30-year mortgage dipping to 1%?
I haven't. I will check it out. I think that today's news is a head in the right direction for lower rates. I think 1% rates make it really, really difficult for lenders to keep loaning. So I just don't see that happening, truthfully. But I will have to check out what he says and see if it makes any sense. So I'll get back to you next week.
So I was researching Invitation Homes. It's just one of the biggest country's biggest rental SFR rentals providers or whatever. And they got a something $1 million loan from Goldman Sachs. So what's the interest rate on those loans that they take? And then they use that money to buy houses cash, right? So what is the interest rate on those kind of loans?
For hard money, hedge fund money?
Is it hard money? When Goldman Sachs gives people millions?
Yeah, that's hard money. That's VC, venture capital, guys. That's very expensive money. And when you do it in your business and when you, it's just very expensive, which is why you see a lot of these companies don't turn a profit for a really long time. And Open Door and OfferPad, they're really being pressured by their investors now to start turning a profit. So we're starting to see them go into title, go into mortgage, be way more aggressive with their pricing, changing their rules about their buy box. So, I think that those are at higher rates than you would get if you bought it as an investor or you'd bought it as a primary occupant.
Liberty Returns asks, can you explain to me how it makes sense that prices keep rising while wages are actually decreasing, considering inflation? Do you think this is done on purpose? Put your conspiracy theory hat on.
Well, no, I mean, I don't think it's done on purpose, but I think that, housing is a good that people purchase and it's being impacted by inflation. And, I do not agree with you that incomes are actually declining. So there was a recent study that was put out that said that the housing, like the median income, hadn't been updated in several years. And so it actually ended up increasing almost $10,000 a year, which I think is pretty significant. And if you look at affordability as compared to the last crisis, you'll find that people actually can afford more of a house than they could back in 2005 because the incomes were way lower and interest rates were way higher. So that's my thought on that.
Awesome. What did you say, 50, 60-year mortgages? Where did you hear about that? Is that something happening
So
now?
it's a 40 or 50-year mortgage. And, the FHFA is big concentration is on affordability. And because home prices are going to continue to rise, guys, even if the market gets less competitive, home prices are going to rise because simply there's not enough supply to meet demand, period, the end. And so while home prices continue to rise and if interest rates go up, they have to do other things to make sure that housing is always affordable. Housing is like one of the strongest factors of our whole economy. It funds so many different things, not just real estate and mortgage, but lumber, labor, stores like Home Depot, Bed Bath & Beyond, furniture stores. I mean, there's so many different verticals that housing impacts. So it's important that it's always affordable. And so one of the things on the table is extending, the years on a mortgage to 40 to 50 years.
Liberty says wages haven't been raised here in Utah, but there's no way for him to know that because they don't calculate the median income or wage until the following year, right?
Well, they do, and honestly, I don't know where you're finding your data, truthfully.
Maybe
and
his wage hasn't increased, so he's assuming everybody's hasn't.
There is that, but who knows? Honestly, I don't know where you're finding your data. I mean, I read national statistics. I know here in Arizona, it's definitely rising. So, I don't know.
I think he knows more than you, Lizzie.
Well, then there's that.
Someone's asked, what's a good color to paint kitchen cabinets? Manny,
white.
Actually, our current client, our past client. He says he works for the state, so yeah, he does know more than you. Maybe you should come run this channel, Liberty. Come on up.
Oh my God, why are you getting so aggressive?
Do you allow this is me on live streams. You never watch my live streams?
I do watch your live streams. I just don't want you to
You have to fight
people.
with okay. So you have to keep engaged with them. So AW asks, how early should someone start talking to a lender in preparation for buying a house?
So I think as soon as possible. So if it's within a year, you should definitely talk to someone. And for multiple reasons. One, you want to get your credit checked to make sure that your credit is in good standing or that you're doing everything possible to get the best interest rate, okay? That's going to be your first line of defense when it comes to getting the best terms and being able to negotiate for your your finances. Then the other thing is people don't anticipate the actual costs of buying, right? They think of their down payment, but then they forget closing costs. They definitely do not factor in inspections or home warranties, or in this case, in this market, people are now paying buyer agent fees. So you really have to make sure that you are getting that budget as soon as possible so that you are budgeting appropriately for that purchase. So I say at minimum 12 months.
Do you think maybe because you're a lender, you're a bit biased in saying that?
I think whenever I've wanted to make a purchase on something, I've done a budget. I don't know. I think it's just I'm predispositioned for wanting to be prepared in life in general. And I do think that as a lender, I see lots of people want to get qualified and can't, and it sucks. And so I'm probably also speaking from I hate letting people down.
Okay.
I mean, why do you not think a year?
I think you're saying that because you're an awesome marketer, and the faster you get someone's pre-qualified or someone information, you can, as a higher probability, you'll turn into a client.
So here's what I will tell you about that. Getting somebody pre-qualified a year in advance.
Well, you wouldn't pre-qualify them, would you? You would just give them advice?
I would pre-qualify them.
But then that would be an unnecessary hit on the credit, wouldn't it?
No, I actually do not think that anything is unnecessary credit. So just so you understand how credit inquiries work, guys, they stay on for a maximum of 1 year, and until you have more than 6 inquiries, it does not have an impact on your credit. In order for you to really know what your credit score is, you have to get your credit run. It is a hard pull, okay? But I think that it's difficult for people like me to stay in contact with people for a year, right? I don't think it does me any favors. I truly believe that it is more helpful for the consumer to be as prepared as possible. And I do not think that all of these YouTube videos do it well.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
No, it's okay. I want you guys to know this because, I mean, I feel obviously passionate about it, but there are people who are really freaking scared over the pulling their credit. And I promise you it's because you heard it from a salesperson who didn't want you to shop your loan.
Yeah, someone recently got pre-qualification and they never got sent the actual pre-qualification, so that way they wouldn't shop it. So, kind of stuff going on there. D.R. Horton versus Richmond American, which would you choose? And are you okay being sued by them?
No, I'm
Answer
not
the
going to
question.
even answer that. So my thing
People
is,
really expect us to throw that out there.
I really do not know. Here's what I will tell you. There are value differences in communities, and you can Google them yourself. Like, you know, I know that different construction and different homes appraise for higher values. That stuff is readily available in the marketplace, and you can ask questions on that. A really experienced real estate agent will give you that advice up front. But, you know, it's not something I'm going to comment on in a YouTube channel, and nor do I really know. Like, I'm not actually physically going to see these properties, and I've never personally bought a new build.
Someone said they think the price drop in price in 6 months at least 10%. It's pretty awesome.
Do you think that there's going to be a drop in prices? Like, I think that so here's what I will tell you. Okay. So a seller's market typically is 97% of list price. Okay. We are in a market currently where people are paying more than 100% of list price. Okay. So I do believe that it will be way more buyer friendly. But here's what I want to caution people that are saying that there's going to be these dramatic price drops is, one, if there's 20 people who want to buy one house, there's far too many people to buy the one house. If the demand goes down by 50%, there's still 10 people to the one house. If it goes down by an additional 50%, we're still talking about 5 people to the one house. And if it goes down an additional, 50%, we're still talking about 2.5 people, right, for the one house. And so until it gets to be where there's more houses than the number of people that are interested in buying, I do not see an impact in values. But I do see it getting less competitive. Like, I don't think it needs to stay at over 100%, right? But still, like, you'll get into these crazy bidding wars with 5 people. Like, I'm still seeing it's not 60 anymore, knock on wood, but I am still seeing like 5 people to one property, and people are still waiving their appraisals. They're still bidding over. It's just not as crazy.
As long as cash buyers make up 10 to 20% of the purchases.
23% now.
Which is, 23%. Some cities is like 28. I checked it. It's insane. As long as that is in there, then it's going to continue to kind of corrode the mindset of listing agents or sellers expecting that, or buyers thinking they're competing against that, even though that's not the case. We just won an offer today. Client offers the contract's going to come to you tomorrow, where we assumed already it was going to be a multiple offer situation with cash and crazy. Well, it was not until we were going to back out and we called them that they said no, just make the offer, right? So a lot of it's, as long as they're there, that's going to continue to, even though they're not that relevant or they're really happening a lot, they're going to continue to kind of change people's perspective on that. I had to be serious because someone says I wasn't being serious and I was just playing around, so I had to say a serious answer.
Oh.
Someone said that Lizzie's taking this serious and Javier's just...
I always take it too seriously. Sorry, guys. I get nervous. I'm like also no fun.
We have 77 people here.
Yay!
A good time. Eric says, hey, I don't think I've ever seen you two together in person before. How exciting. Are you in person here, Eric? Where are you? Sales are actually declining overall, but prices remain high. And yes, what competition there is still fierce. Yep.
I don't see that sales are declining, guys. And if sales are declining, it's because of supply and also because new home sales have declined. So the amount of new homes that went under contract is literally 6% lower than resale homes. But that's not the overall market. And the only reason it's low, guys, is because they cannot keep up and they're way backed up. They have a gigantic backlog and people don't know when their houses are actually going to be built.
Yep, if they had more land, there wouldn't be a decline.
Danielle, hey girl. I love it when you're on. She's my faves.
Lizzie Tulla Ho. Why? So they call each other hoes now?
So this is two hoes. Oh my God, you guys. She just bought a house and closed last week, and Monday was her birthday, guys. If you can all just give her a shout out.
Two hoes and a consult. Tulla Ho how to do a refi. She's trying to do a refi already?
No. So here's the deal. Once you buy a house, though, things that you need to know is that it'll take you up to 6 months before you will really get like the best terms and you've had enough leeway to see some appreciation in your property. So just know it's 6 months to just rate and term and then cash out. Now, if you buy your property with a hard money loan, you can typically cash out, or excuse me, rate and term right away. But if you want to pull out any kind of equity at all, or you need equity to like change your loan type from an FHA to a conventional loan, you're going to want to wait at least 6 months.
I have to ask you a serious question. Did people ever make fun of you because your last name's Hoeffer?
Yeah, my whole life.
So
it
what
was
do they
like
call
ho
it?
for a dollar. Like it was a hey ho. You know, I've gotten so used to it. It's just like I just don't care.
I never thought about that. Ho for a dollar.
Oh my god, it was terrible. Terrible. But you know what? I'm very appreciative over people's like rhyming skills. I use it a lot in marketing, so
Why don't we call your audience like the hoes?
yeah, because I'm not gonna call them
The
hoes.
live stream, the Lizzie hose. That's what you should call your live stream on. It's a Lizzie hose.
Oh my god.
Lizzie hose represent. Hashtag Lizzie hose. LIZYHO. Right? Lizzie ho. Okay.
Okay, let's not get that.
It's gonna be a
last.
thing now. Watch.
I know you already made me like the lizard queen, so please don't catch on, guys. Please.
Let's see. Can we change the name of the business to a hoe for a dollar mortgage? No.
Nope, not quite as catchy as Leave Lizzie Alone.
So, okay. Well, people are asking and demonetized. People are. Danielle says she's dying. That's not good. Have you seen that percentage drop of applications on your end, or have you not seen it?
Actually, I've seen a recent increase, and I think that we will all see that there was a slight bump between June and July just because interest rates dipped. I think that that's cyclical. Also, summer times are historically our lowest time in terms of like purchases and refinances because it gets like triple digits here, and people don't really like to move or do anything. Like they leave Arizona.
Yeah, I think you're going to see a huge increase now. All these freaking articles. People are just desperate to find some kind of news. Recently talked about lumber prices dropping, crashing almost, you would say. And people were hoping that things were going to improve of that. What's your thoughts on that? Have you talked about it?
I haven't talked about it just because I don't think it's real news. Like, I think that lumber prices had to go down to make homes more affordable and more consistent for people to actually close on their houses. I mean, guys, that problem really, really impacts the new home construction, and I don't do a ton of it, so I don't spend a whole lot of energy researching it. But I do know that I did look into like the recent articles. Tons of people sent them to me. It was all over the place, and I really do not think that it's real news.
So you would say it's fake news?
I would say that the media grasps on to anything to reinforce their story. And I can guarantee you there's going to be a whole lot of doomsday YouTubers on there that's like, housing crash on the horizon, 6% drop in prices.
What's your problem with housing crash YouTubers? And name some names.
I'm not going to name names because I'm not a hater like that. But it's like I struggle with YouTube a little bit because for me, I get that you want to be like that because you want to get the views and you want to get the clicks and all of the things. But I also do not believe in scaring people. I believe in preparing people. Like, I don't need the extra drama in my life. And I really don't like it. Like, I get, like, so I will call out one person, okay? So Ken McElroy, or whatever his name is, okay? He has been literally talking about a housing crash since the last housing crash, okay? One day he's going to be right because he's been talking about it for over a decade. It's like, dude, you were wrong for like 9 of the last years. It's like, I don't know what to say, but then all of a sudden he's the guru because he's been predicting it for a decade. I don't know. It's just, that's what drives me crazy. I just want people to understand that like timing the market is the dumbest thing possible because it's impossible to do. Like, we're not psychics. So you do things when you're financially ready. You do things consistently over time. You do things in preparation and with a budget. So like, it's just, I've really won in life that way. And I am somebody who comes from very, very humble beginnings, guys. Like, raised by a mom with 2 jobs. I lived in a Motel 6. It's not like I had a silver spoon. I've built almost everything I can, obviously with the help of mentors and my great team, but like from basic Google search and hard work. So I just don't think that it has to be that complicated, and confusing news complicates things for people.
It says, if you want Lizzie's face to change, just say 2 magic words, or not 2, it'd be 5. Dave Ramsey and Ken McElroy. You're right. Everyone's going crazy over that. That's awesome. Some new builds in Georgia and Texas are now offering 0% commissions to buyer's agent. And
happening in Phoenix too. Supply and demand, guys.
Yeah, that sucks. Who's doing that?
It's here too. I honestly, I don't know. And again, I don't name names, but it is happening, guys.
Except Ken.
I know, but honestly, he loves being the doomsdayer. So on the new build front, in order for them to cut costs, one of the costs that they're cutting is a buyer's agent. But I will tell you that it's really scary to go unrepresented because those contracts have some super scary clauses right now about raising prices, about you paying the overage on any lumber prices that they can't settle on. And so not being represented right now in a new build is kind of a big deal.
Hi guys, my MLO called me today and told me that the underwriter won't approve my loan because my husband needs to make $200 more a week. I already gave 5% down payment and paid for the home insurance. How did she give already 5% down payment?
Well, she might have put the money in escrow. So typically what happens is that you should be able to get your money returned to you for a loan denial. $200 is kind of a lot in terms of debt to income ratio, but one of the things that you might want to look into is, do you have a debt that has comparable payments? Right? So like, is there a debt that you might be able to, so like for instance, student loans. Okay. So student loans are a huge factor in people's debt to income ratio. Can you get on an income-based repayment plan right now? Because FHA just changed their guidelines. So did conventional loans. And that might be a really quick way to drop your debt to income ratio so he doesn't have to make more income. The other thing is, you might want to look at maybe doing conventional loan and buying out mortgage insurance, right? If that's something that you have. And definitely get a second opinion on that. There's no reason that you should be in this situation and be finding out now that you don't qualify. So not every lender is made the same. So get a second opinion from somebody who's really like scrappy. If you're in Phoenix, I'd love to look at this.
Daniel Isaac, my credit score and Credit Karma app is 732. When my loan officer pulled it, it was only 660. Can you please explain? I don't understand. Thank you.
Yeah. So this is why I tell you guys to get your credits actually pulled. So a credit score on a credit simulator like Experian or through Credit Karma is what's called a plus score. So it gives you an idea of credit, but it's on a completely different algorithm than what they use for mortgages. So mortgages use a FICO specific credit scoring system called Fair Isaac. And so it is specific to mortgage qualifying. They're off by 30 to 40 points. And so unfortunately, it makes a difference in your rate. So you really want to know. Now, easy things that you can do to bump your score: pay down your credit card balances.
I got out of the chat because I'm changing the title real quick. Lizzie talks crap about Ken. I'm just kidding.
Oh my God.
I'm going to tag my name on there because you can actually do @ and it'll be like a linkable link.
Cool beans.
There you go. So, all right.
So this is like super awesome because this is like a live tutorial on my YouTube live skills. It's like, okay, learn where the mic is, learn how to @sign.
Yeah. Lizzie, torta de carne asada or quesadilla de asada?
Torta? Actually, I'm a quesadilla girl. All the way. And I'm a bean and cheese burrito girl too.
Maria C. asks, when can you remove home insurance from escrow after purchase? And I responded, if you have a mortgage, you cannot get rid of it. Is that correct?
So if you have a mortgage, you cannot get rid of it. But I think what she's talking about is actually mortgage insurance and not
she says
homeowners
insurance. Homeowners insurance.
I know, but a lot of clients get them confused.
Got it.
So here's the deal. I'm going to give you two things. So at 20% equity, when you are on a conventional loan, you can request that the mortgage insurance be dropped. You have to actually formally request this. It will not come off until you have 22% equity from your purchase price. Okay. So if you want to, have it removed with an appraisal, you have to wait 2 years and have 25% equity. And then if you're going from an FHA loan, you'll want to convert it to a conventional loan. That's done through a refinance. And then if you are trying to remove your homeowner's insurance from your monthly payment, you have to get down to 20%. And then you can have it not impounded with your payment.
No, she said she wants it paid separately because if you you get a discount if you pay it full for the year, but it's already being paid full for the year.
It is being paid for full for the year.
It's called escrow balance. Check that out, Maria. Do you want to explain that real quick?
Yeah. So homeowners insurance is really confusing because you always pay it in the arrears. The opposite
in the
of
what?
the arrears. You always pay it in the future.
Oh,
there we go. So when you close on your home loan, you pay for the 12 months that you're going to be occupying the property, and every single month after that, it's collecting for the next year's premium. So you are always paying it for 12 months in advance. Now, some people don't like to impound for taxes and insurance because they want the money in their investment accounts for as long as possible. And in states where, you know, property taxes are multiple thousands of dollars, but here in Phoenix, property taxes are so low, you rarely save any money, or, you know, by earning more interest in a money market or in your stock account. So
Money asks interesting question. Do you remember your first loan that you closed as a loan officer?
I do. I remember my first and second loan. So the first loan I ever did on my own as a loan officer that was not for friends and family was a guy I met at the post office. And he made me a deal because I was a new loan officer that if I closed every deal at 1%, he would use me on all of his loans. And because of him, I met my first real estate agent, and it really gave me a platform to be able to work with investors and to learn about refinances because he did a lot of purchase and refis. And it was an amazing experience. So I'm really grateful to him.
Keisha Stevenson with $20 super chat.
Woo! Thanks, girl.
USDA on a new build closed next month. My husband's credit card closed due to inactivity. It dropped his middle score to 633. My mid score is 670. We will be in underwriting. Should I be worried? Low DTI, $255,000 house.
I think you should be okay, but what I would do is call the credit company and see if they would reinstate it for you guys. You can do this and then just charge on it. So that is something that does happen to people, but if you catch it quick enough, they will reinstate the account. And speak to a manager. Do not talk to customer service reps. They do not have any power or authority to do anything. So always escalate these kinds of problems, especially with deletions, any credit lates that you're trying to remove. Always speak to a manager.
NDA, have you all noticed that renting prices have gone up? Is this due to landlords trying to make up lost payments in the past year and a half? Or is it due to rentals realizing people are stuck? I think, yeah, man, want to look at the bigger picture here. I think simply they can make more. If they have the chance to make more money off them, they will. You don't want to just assume. I know it's really sexy to start getting into these conspiracy-minded theories. Oh, yeah, they're trying to make up money. Maybe that's the case in some of them, but a lot of times it's just supply and demand, right? Rentals are more in demand. They can charge more for them.
So people are getting buyer fatigue right now. They're getting out of wanting to buy a home. They have to live somewhere. So where do you go? A rental. So again, like I've said forever, that there is not enough houses available for the number of people that need them. So we can expect rental prices to outpace that of actual home buying right now, just so you guys know. And in many cases, it is still cheaper actually to have a mortgage than a rental payment.
Another $20 super chat from Darren Buttery.
Oh, Darren!
My mortgage is $950 and breaks down to $650, and PI is $300 for escrow. I want to make my first payment a double payment per Lizzie Ho,
yes.
The Lizard Queen's advice. Is a double payment for me $1,900 or $1,600?
So it's the full payment, just so you know. So it's the principal, interest, taxes, and insurance one, the PITI one.
You would make the whole, even just to kind of pad those accounts or what?
No, so if you make a first payment, like a double payment, it actually knocks off several years of your mortgage because you start off the balance, paying off less, more of your payment goes. In order to knock off at least $2,000, it's several months of payments.
Why is it more effective to do in the beginning than down the road?
Because you start, every payment after that is calculated on that first loan amount.
Isn't the payment just based off the balance?
It is, but you pay less interest when the balance starts off lower.
Okay. That's awesome.
So, right, so what he's saying is correct, except that what I'm saying is it compounds, right? So you're, the amount of equity that you have grows and grows every single month, and so you have a longer, time frame of paying the lower amount of interest.
Lizzie dropping credit card tips after the close. Yep. Where are all the Lizzie hoes at? Everyone represent. Drop a lizard in the chat.
Drop a lizard in the chat.
Compound interest at work, but in reverse equals mind blown. Yep.
Yep. Exactly. You nailed it.
91 people watching right now.
Thanks, guys. It's because Javier is on, right?
No.
Is that the deal?
Not at all. Let's see. Ken is enjoying his new young co-host. Does Ken have a new young co-host? How often are you guys seeing single millennials applying for houses in this market?
So I don't take a survey on it, but I will say that I do see actually quite a few millennial females purchasing on their own.
Why?
I honestly don't know, but I do I think that is actually consistent with what the demographics are showing in terms of statistics. Is that I think women are actually getting married later and later, and they're more financially savvy and they make more money now. So I think it's just natural that we'd see more female homeowners, and I also think that women are more inclined to home ownership, right? Just in general.
Why?
I don't know. Well, I mean, like, if I'm breaking it down and really trying to get, like, psychological, I mean, like, we are literally raised to raise families. And, like, your home is that center of everything. It's your stability. So I think that probably has something to do with it. But honestly, I'm, like, not Dr. Phil. I'm just a loan officer.
Dr. Phil's the worst example you could use.
You know what? I don't know. I don't know people.
You don't want to be like,
critical
you don't want
of
to
all
be
of my
Dr.
things.
Phil.
He's just making me so nervous.
It's like a rant. Doctor, like out of all the medical professionals you respect, Dr. Phil's you threw out there.
I mean, I think he's a well-recognized therapist.
Sure.
I mean, he's good enough for Oprah. Why are you such a hater?
He was.
Why isn't he now? Did Oprah disown him?
I don't know. What do you guys think? You can actually create a poll on the chat so we can ask people.
I don't think we need a poll about Dr.
Let's ask people.
Oh my God.
What do you think about Dr. Phil? Now let's see if people like him or don't like him. I like him, and then nah, there. So now we ask our community, and we can keep track of the poll. See, it doesn't pop up right now. Danielle says no, he's whack. There you go.
Oh, he's whack. Okay, sorry.
Jesus. Oh wait, no, there's someone talking. There you go. So far it's 92% nah, 8% say I like him. So we'll see who's right.
I didn't say I liked him. I just said I wasn't him. God, guys, I honestly couldn't think of another popular therapist. Jeez.
Let's see. Guys, if you have any questions, now's the time to drop them. Can you speak to student loans currently paying 52% on rent? For sure can pay a mortgage. If you're paying 52% on rent, I'm not sure if you can do a mortgage, Stephanie.
Well, student loans are actually the biggest factor in why people can't qualify, which is why they recently changed, the guidelines for FHA. So just so you know, it used to be that we hit you with 1% of whatever that loan balance is, and now we either hit you with 0.5% if it's deferred or whatever the actual repayment plan is. So this is really huge, guys, especially if you are on an income-based repayment plan and are paying significantly lower than 0.5% or a full percent. This is going to give you so much more buying power. When you think of buying power, think of $5 for every $1,000, right? So if you're reducing, $100 in debt, right, you've given yourself like $50,000 worth of more buying power. So I just want you guys to be really aware of that.
Almost half of people voted. 91% say no, and 9% say they like them.
Okay, guys, I have no opinion. I'm neutral. I just said I don't know. God.
So when you do things in humor, like off topic, you don't have to take it so seriously.
Okay.
No one's like, oh my God, Dr. Phil. Like you freak out that people can think, oh my God, you like Dr. Phil. Okay, here's another $5 super chat I'm gonna end the poll. Okay, 90% don't like him. $5 super chat from Simply Rajani.
Hey girl.
Can new collections, $340 old membership mess up your loan?
Yes. If it's brand new, guys, if you just received the collection notice, go ahead and call them, pay it off, and make sure that they haven't reported to the credit bureaus. So they typically give you like a 30 to 60-day window to be notified of your collection before they start reporting to the bureaus. Super important that you take care of this.
Man M, best question.
And then get a letter saying you took care of it and they are not reporting on credit.
Man M hasn't asked the question of the ready?
Yeah.
It's really good. Do you expect a house crash this fall?
No. No, I do not. In order for there to be a housing crash, guys, there would have to be some sort of, hysterical reason why people are dumping their properties with more than 30% equity in them. There would have to be a large influx of houses, unless the Delta strain of COVID is going to wipe out an entire population. I just don't see it happening.
I was going to ask you about that. But
No, I was like, Darren's going to mention something about the silver tsunami. So this is my one time mentioning it during this live. That's it. Google it if you have questions.
I received my pre-approval in June, but feel like I won't find anything till October, November. Will I need to go through the pre-approval process again or turn in new documents?
You'll have to update documents when you are getting closer to buying, just so that they can make sure that everything is still on pace to qualify you. But I mean, it isn't as in-depth as before. Credit stays good for about 120 days. 30 of that we need to close your actual home loan. So chances are you'll probably, so is it July, August, September? There is a chance that we may have to rerun your credit, and we for sure will get updated, paycheck stubs and bank statements.
Do you ever see the credit scoring system to include those of us who prefer to carry no consumer debt?
Yeah, it does not. It's not in favor of you guys. So if that is you, you can do an Experian credit boost and get your utilities reported. And you can also, guys, get your rents reported to your credit. You just have to Google how to do it. There's lots of companies that are doing it, and it's helpful if you have alternative trade lines and need a credit score to qualify.
Can you comment on what the lizard tsunami is?
Oh my God. Hey, I see my girl Tammy's on here. Hey girl, thanks for supporting me.
Tammy?
Sending
Who's
lots
that?
of love. She is a realtor on the west side.
She live in Goodyear?
She does. She was.
I think she used to be on Corinne's team. She messaged me once.
Yep.
I think she worked in the same dentist office my sister did.
Yes, and she has since gone full-time in real estate, and she's amazing.
Jaime Duke or Jamie Duke, any tips on those of us who are self-employed?
Yes. So if you're self-employed, things that you have to realize when you're wanting to qualify is, one, you were not going to want to write off everything under the sun. You really want to make it so that you have enough income to support your mortgage payments, and you want a P&L, a year-to-date P&L that supports whatever income you claimed on last year's taxes, and bank statements that also support it. So that's one of the changes with COVID, is that they've gotten a lot more aggressive in making sure that self-employed people really have stable income. So I always tell people that have been self-employed, it's super important now, to get pre-qualified and figure out what it is that you need to file on next year's taxes to make sure that you hit your housing goals, right? So, it is more challenging, definitely not impossible. And if you're somebody who wants to write everything off and not pay taxes, you're going to need some planning.
Good question. Let's see. Lizzie's correct on Phil being popular. Javier's correct on he's outdated. Win-win for you two. Great debate. Okay.
Who was that? I love whoever that was.
Darren? No. I lost them. Conrad asks, what's your favorite crypto and why is it Ethereum?
So here's my thing on crypto.
Don't get her started.
I don't love crypto as an investment itself, but I have made investments in companies that are using crypto as like a payment method, right? So like the payment processing of crypto is something, and then there's like, oh my God, what is it? It's so things that use crypto. So I'm not for crypto in terms of currencies, because I would never invest in a currency, period, the end. I think it's really volatile. And I think that there's a lot of things that I think it's just a really great way for people to lose a lot of money because they don't understand it. But I do think that there are investments that you can make in parallel for companies that support crypto that I think are really interesting.
There's I thought I saw an article where Amazon might be preparing, or they're hiring people right now that seems to be, people are speculating that means they're going to start taking crypto soon.
So like what I would do is, like, if Amazon's going to create a payment processing service for collecting crypto, like that would be a company that I would invest in, right? It's still along the same lines that I believe that cryptocurrency has some future, but you can't gauge the value of it. It's just so hard.
$10 super chat from Two Hoes. I would do a larger super chat, but I just closed on the house, sent a pic of a bottle of bubbly to my friends and say that their lender sucks. Hashtag Lizzie stunts on them hoes. Hashtag I'm worth the extra money.
Yes.
Amazon said that was false. Okay, never mind.
But Walmart is doing this though, and I think that this is like a really good indication. Walmart's a blue chip company. They're super smart. When they make moves like this, we pay attention. It's just what got me thinking more into crypto.
So no crypto.
Crypto as an investment, I don't like. If you want to, here's my thing on speculative types of investments, and I've talked to Javier a lot about this because we've talked a lot about money principles, is that you can put 10% of the money that you're going to be investing and put them in things that are speculative. Like I did that with the Zoom, right? On the day that it IPO'd, I'm like, I really like this company. It's profitable. I think that video is the future for business. I put money on it. It paid off, right? It paid off especially because of COVID, but I still thought it would pay off in the long run, just in general, because they were the market leader in video communications when it came to business meetings, right? So you can do things that are speculative. It just can't be the bulk of your portfolio.
Yep. Tuho, she hates crypto, which I don't say hate, but she doesn't like crypto. Dave and Ken.
All the things.
Why is Tesla your favorite stock?
Are these your fucking questions? I don't like Tesla, guys. Tesla does not make any sense to me either.
Add another one to the list. Tesla, crypto, Ken, and Dave. All words you don't like.
So, like, I don't like things that are overpriced. You
curse too, by the way. Is it first time cursing on the live?
No.
You're like,
Lizzie after hours is a little bit unfiltered. So guys, stocks like Tesla are just not my jam, primarily because the price per earnings is just so out of whack. So what you invest in, like, just know that they're not going to be profitable for a very, very long time. So in my rules of investing, you have to be profitable, right? Or you have to be cash flowing. Crypto isn't profitable. It doesn't cash flow. Tesla is not profitable, also doesn't cash flow.
Speak for yourself.
Not my jam.
Let's see. Can roommate rental income be used to help qualify for more SFM, single family?
So if you're doing conventional and home ready, yes, 30% of it can, so long as you can document it for 12 months.
What about hospital bills? I never paid one hospital bill because I thought it was BS. How's it going to affect me getting a loan within the next 2 or 3 months?
Oh my God, those are my favorite stories. It's like how it's not your fault that you didn't pay the credit card or the collection. Dude, I don't know. If you got the medical bill and you got the services, you owed the money. And so unfortunately, medical collections harm your credit just like any other kind of collection. The only thing is that we don't have to consider it in your debt to income ratio because it is medical. But I mean, medical collections are like the easiest thing to remove off of your credit if you just get on a payment plan. And also they're like unnecessary. You can get on a $10 a month payment plan and pay it like you plan on paying your student loans, and it's not that big of a deal. Like, your credit, guys, is gold. Like, if you have bad credit, everything is more expensive. Your utilities, your insurance, your mortgage, your loans, everything is more expensive with bad credit.
Someone asks, can they go to open houses without a realtor? Mine says he's busy for a while. Shake my head.
What is your opinion, Mr. Realtor?
If you really like this real estate agent and they're a friend or family member and you're pretty sure you're going to use them, you technically can. You have to be careful of procuring costs. So you want to make sure you have evidence that they sent you the house first and, they initiated it. But if you go with you initiating everything, you could potentially take them out of the position. But, I mean, I've had that happen. I'm not going to lie, where, there's like 4 or 5 showings or there's only one showing and it's an open house. And, the client just says, I'm just going to go without you. And they go without me. But I just tell them, hey, just make sure to let them know I sent you and you don't have to sign in. So, but if someone's telling you they're going to be busy for a while,
that's
probably
base.
a good sign that that's not the right person to work with you.
Yeah. So somebody's going to be on like a vacation, or they're going to be off for an extended period of time. Typically, if they're professional, they work with somebody and their partner will help you, or their assistant will help you, or they can put you in contact with somebody who can be more available to you. So that's my personal opinion. If you're one of my clients, definitely let me know, because we wouldn't want that for you.
Yeah. People always say, how can I find a good realtor? There's good and bad realtors, but I think there could be an amazing realtor that maybe is not in the best position to help you that month, and they'll be the worst realtor. Sometimes you might meet a bad realtor, quote unquote, who maybe just turned their life around, and now you're going to get the best experience ever. So you have to judge people not only on their merit, but their current life situation.
And also, guys, like, we're humans. We're going to mess up. And, like, I just try to do the right thing. It's not like I'm immune from making mistakes. I just always apologize and try to fix it. And, like, if anything's ever going south you can count on me getting involved.
They are one of your clients.
Okay. I do want you to message me about this, because that's not great. Okay? I'll help.
Everyone's fighting with you saying, well, not everyone. There's like a few people. Crypto does cash flow.
How does it cash flow? Explain to me how it cash flows.
You can get 5% paid on interest. I get paid like $50 a month. Please don't spread misinformation. Check out Block. also said Amazon's still technically not profitable to keep their taxable low to something they reinvest all the money into new innovations.
So Amazon is absolutely not profitable, guys. It is on my speculative or growth stock mode. Tesla can be considered a growth stock. It's just too far outside the lines that I feel comfortable with. And then in terms of like actual crypto as a currency, not like how you are leveraging it or margining it, right? Currencies typically, guys, do not cash flow. Cash flow is like you have an investment property and whatever the difference is between your mortgage and the rent is cash flow, right? A dividend is a cash flow. That's what I'm talking about. And if you get interest based on your crypto, it's because somebody's borrowing against it. That's a loan. So as in general principle is what I'm explaining.
Kat asks, and this is probably relevant to a lot of people, if you're stuck waiting like I am, what's the best thing to do? Credit's good, saved up, chunk, what now? Invest in, according to Lizzie, invest in crypto, invest in Tesla. What else? Amazon?
So here's the thing. I do want to talk about principles because I think it's important, right? Especially if you're in this time frame where it isn't the right time for you to purchase and you've met like the credit and you've saved all the money and it's just not the right time for you to pull the trigger. I always tell people that their first thing when it comes to investment is to always max out their retirement. So this is something that you can do right now, right, to better your like future financial you. I mean, like if you look at like the returns on what you'll have in 20 years if you consistently maxed out your retirement accounts, it's anywhere between $1.5 to $4.5 million, right? So like you really want to look at that as your very first step. And then I always have like I follow the Warren Buffett strategy, and so for me, guys, like you have to also qualify where your people get their sources. Like I have principles for how I invest. You have principles for how you invest. And just because I don't like crypto doesn't mean you don't have to like crypto. I don't like crypto though. And so like Warren Buffett also hates crypto. In fact, I think that Charlie Munger actually called it a turd, right? So like this is who I'm mentored by, right? So this is where I'm going to think, but I haven't gone wrong with their principles. So how I like to invest is you can take 10 stocks, right? And you want the majority of your portfolio to be in things that are blue chip index funds. You want your next tier of things to be in growth stocks. And then you want like 10% of your like investments to be in speculative things, right? And so I think if you can follow those principles, right? And consist like with dollar cost averaging and just be super consistent about the amount that you're investing, you'll win, right? And it's definitely a really great place to start if you can't invest in a home right now.
There you go. A $5 super chat from Steven. If Lizzie knew it was me asking about the hospital bill, I feel like she would have yelled at me. I'll make sure to take care of it ASAP.
Steven,
Do you know him?
Yes, I do.
Steven with an I?
Yes.
Pineda?
If Lizzie knew it was me asking about the hospital bill, I feel like she would have.
You know that?
Oh, I would have. Yes, I would have yelled at you. I'm still yelling at you. I do want you to fix it ASAP. Too funny.
Do you think maybe the Charlie Munger guy doesn't like crypto because they have so much tied up in cash? Like they're depending on the USD. No,
people have buy boxes. Like there's like tried and true principles for investing, and like Warren Buffett has one of my favorite sayings, and it's like, why don't people follow your strategies? And he's like, because it takes a long time and waiting isn't sexy. And it's like, okay, I get it. Like I have been the tortoise in every race I've ever run. I've never been the fastest. I've never been the quickest to improve. I've like all of the things, but I stay super consistent. And now today, like I have surpassed almost all of my competition in Phoenix. I have a great portfolio. I have a completely different life, and it didn't have to be complicated. Like I don't have to day trade. I don't have to learn complicated things. You know, I'm just super consistent. And so for me, it just meets all of my buy box. Like Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger, they're like some of the richest self-made people in the world. Why would their advice be crap? And I'm asking you.
Why would their advice be crap? They're not crap. They're based off their principles are based off of how to make the most amount of dollars, for sure.
They're like he basically does the same principles over and 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 over again. Like that's it. He doesn't he's not testing theories. So I think it's impressive. So I don't know.
So I asked everybody, do you like crypto? And so far, 35% say yes, 65% say no. Lizzie likes to yell and curse after hours. You just got to say the 4 magic words.
I don't like to yell at
Tesla.
like,
And she just freaks out.
I will say this. I do think Elon Musk is really creative and has lots of awesome ideas. I just don't know when he's going to turn a profit. I think that Amazon guys will turn a profit, and I think they're a lot closer to that than Tesla.
AW says if you waited 10 years after buying Bitcoin, you would have more wealth than you have in any other asset. Facts.
Sure. And that's also the thing, but like, who knew to buy it 10 years ago? It's the same philosophy when people were buying houses 10 years ago at a crazy rate that was unsupported. It was like, nobody really understood about supply. They didn't understand about shit loans. They didn't understand about, all of these foreign people coming here buying properties with no income. And everyone did it because it was a good idea because their neighbors were talking about it. And then the housing crash. And then if you look back to even like the stock crashes of, like 20 years before that, I mean, it's the same concept when everyone's jumping in because it's the best, greatest idea ever and they don't really understand the investment, people get hurt. And a lot of people have lost a ton of money on crypto.
Let's see. Huge Warren Buffett fan +1 from Doug. There you go.
Hey.
All right. 2 minutes from ending time. What do you usually do for your ending? You sing a
I am
song?
sweating under this jacket. P.S. Two hoes. Just so you know, turns out I ran out of pants today in my dry cleaning, and I had to wear shorts, and I had a business meeting, so I wanted it to be like professional-esque. So, FYI.
If you're on the street, there's a car coming on two sides of the street. Jeff Bezos is one. Elon Musk is on the other. Who are you saving?
Jeff Bezos.
You're saving Jeff Bezos?
Yes.
Poor Elon.
I'm invested in Amazon.
All right, there you go. Okay, let's see, not months. All right, let me take all this off. Ponzi scheme, it's fake money. Well, you don't have to respond to that. You don't have to respond to every comment.
Yeah, okay.
Once again, don't take it personal. Buffet Munger, their advice is good, but with some things they are too risk adverse and it's too old school for me.
Yeah, and there are people who feel that way. Here's my recommendation, though. You have to understand what you want your budget to be, what you want your finances to look like long term, and how much risk you're willing to roll, right? I'm like obviously risk averse. So for me, it's going to be long, steady consistency, and I think that will win the race. And I might not ever be the richest person, but I will definitely have wealth.
Loan approvals for single parents, is it possible in this market? I mean, loan approvals are possible for any person. The problem is that you have enough income to be able to purchase in the price range.
Yep, 100%.
So, Darren Butter's being rude.
What is Darren Buttery saying?
Nothing. You don't lose money if you never sell. Daniel, okay.
All the things. What is Darren Buttery saying?
Says shorts and jacket doesn't look professional. Looks like you're confused on weather reports. It's not rude. It's funny. It's funny.
He does make me laugh.
Awesome. Okay. Well, what do you like to end it off with?
Well, guys, I've asked Javier to maybe come back next week to help me do this. He's like my good pal. I'm going to try to pressure it in. If you guys want to see him back next week, he's normally a lot more fiery with me than he was today.
Being nice.
I know, but I feel like people like our witty banter.
Yeah, when is Lizzie's app going live?
So it's in beta stage right now, guys. If you guys want to sign up for the beta, go to smartsense.com. You can already start using the app there. And what we really need is your input on how to improve the app, things that you'd like to see. I had a really fun talk about it, today, which is really cool. And so lots of really exciting things. We hope to have it be like an official app that you can download on the App Store, before the end of the year. So I will let you guys know when that's coming out, but you can start using it today if you visit smartsense.com.
Live in person, Javi. He's being nice because I'm okay. So, Matt, yeah, I put the link there.
Cool. Awesome, guys. Well, I appreciate you guys tuning in. It means the world to me. And then definitely check out some new content I'm going to be putting out next week. I did 2 really amazing videos, interviews, one with an agent out in Houston, and she was giving her best tips for how to improve and how to submit the best offers. So improve your value and submit the best offers. And then I did another one with my favorite podcaster ever, Danielle Robay. She is the host of the Pretty Smart podcast, and we talk about all things like the grind, the hustle, how to start your own business, how to leverage yourself to create income out of nowhere. So she's super, super impressive. I'd love for you guys to check that out. A little different for the channel, but I think it's still going to bring you maximum value. So
I do want to ask you something, though. I was looking at your Twitter account, and you said something pretty disturbing about 5 years ago. Do you mind sharing what you were thinking about that? Putting up... I ended the stream.